Aloha and good morning, everyone. Welcome. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. Thank you. Today, I'm so honored and pleased to have retired Chief Justice Mark E. Rechtenwald to give the message of aloha. It has been a year since Chief Justice Mark Rechtenwald delivered his final State of the Judiciary address. It feels like it was just yesterday that he stood before us at the state capitol, bidding us aloha while recounting the most profound tenets of his distinguished career: to consistently ensure that cases are decided fairly and efficiently, to fervently provide equal access to justice for all, to boldly create innovative and inclusive pathways to navigating our judicial system, and to authentically build public trust and confidence in our courts. I have known and admired Chief Justice Rechtenwald for many years. As a former state representative serving as the chair of the Judiciary Committee, we worked together and had the honor of participating in his nomination as Chief Justice when I served on the Judicial Selection Commission in 2010. The Chief Justice's impacts on our judicial system have been monumental, wide-ranging, and invaluable to us all. And while his sage wisdom, reassuring guidance, and steadfast leadership have been dearly missed, I think we can all agree that we are all much better off because of the remarkable contributions that he has made to our community and for his enduring commitment to truth, justice, and equality for all. Please join me in welcoming Chief Justice Mark Rechtenwald this morning as delivered the message of aloha for the first one in 2026.
Hey, good morning, aloha, everyone. And thank you, Chair Waters and the members of the council for welcoming me here today. Thank you for your service. I've told several of you, just as I've been here, how much I admire the work that's being done by the council. Just looking from the outside, it seems like you work hard. I mean, there are disagreements sometimes, but you seem like you're always focused on the issues and trying to do what's right for the people of Honolulu. So thank you so much for that and for your service. You know, these aren't easy times, and we'll need every bit of the aloha that within us to navigate the challenges that are ahead. Whatever your political point of view, it was difficult to watch the recent events in Minnesota and not feel a profound sense of sadness and loss. First and foremost, there's a loss of two lives, a young mother, Renee Good, and an ICU nurse, Alex Preti. It was heartbreaking to see, and our love and aloha goes out to their family and friends and to the people of Minneapolis. But I think we all fear that something else has been lost, hopefully not irreparably. It's a sense of respect and grace, or as we call it in Hawaii, aloha, that should guide even the most contentious debates in our democracy. Heavily armed masked men in the streets, tear gas and pepper spray wafting through the air, a 5-year-old child staring blankly, wondering where his father just went. These are the images that we're seeing. Again, whatever your political views, you have to ask, is this who we are? And if the answer is no, then you have to ask another question: how can I use the aloha that is inside me to make a difference? For me, one place where I can make a difference is by advocating for the rule of law. It's a fancy sounding term, but it comes down to this: ensuring that our legal system is fair, that there are rules which are clearly stated and which apply to everyone, whether they're rich or poor, popular or hated, law enforcement or demonstrator. And critically, are the people who are supposed to apply those rules, and particularly the judges who preside in our courts, impartial and able to call it like they see it without fear or favor. I've decided the best way for me to make a difference is to organize with former Chief Justices from across the country, joining our voices to speak out. We have about 50 of us from red and blue states and everything in between who've created an alliance in support of the rule of law. That kind of middle ground is hard to find these days, but it's precious. And I urge each of you to consider how you can find that middle ground in your own lives where we can come together, despite our differences, with a sense of aloha. And so I return to where I started, the importance of the ALOHA spirit in guiding our conduct, particularly when we engage with others who hold very different views. In 1959, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made what is believed to be his first visit to Hawaii and addressed a joint session of the legislature. He said, "As I think of the struggle we are engaged in the Southland, we look to you for inspiration and a noble example, where you've already accomplished in the area of racial harmony and racial justice what we are struggling to accomplish in other sections of the country. And you can never know what it means to those of us caught in the moment, in the tragic and often dark midnight of man's inhumanity to man, to come to a place where we see the glowing daybreak of freedom and dignity and racial justice." We can all agree there's much work left to be done, both in Hawaii and across the United States, to achieve justice for all. But it is also true that Hawaii has something unique to offer as we confront the divisiveness, disillusionment, and conflict that grips our nation as we near the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. That is the spirit of ALOHA, which Dr. King witnessed in 1959, and which is enshrined in our law in the Hawaii Revised Statutes. Let us all be guided by that spirit as we go forward in these challenging times. Once again, mahalo for this opportunity to join you today, and best wishes for a productive 2026. Mahalo and aloha.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Leadership with aloha. So important. We do have procedural announcements. Although remote oral testimony is being permitted, this is a regular meeting and not a remote meeting by interactive conference technology under HRS Section 92-3.7. Therefore, the meeting will continue notwithstanding the loss of audiovisual communication with remote testifiers or loss of the public broadcast of the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda, either in person in the council chamber or remotely. As both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii, pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the State of Hawaii Constitution and Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their full name and the agenda item they are testifying on. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 3-minute presentation on public hearing and new business items, and a 1-minute presentation on all other items. Registered in-person testifiers will be called first. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium and begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. When I call for anyone who has not registered to speak in person, please line up to the right of the podium, and when it is your turn, proceed to the podium. Begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will then be called. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you're also watching the proceeding on Olelo, please mute your television when you are called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. For those who are joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of the meeting. Pursuant to Communication MM-1226, Resolution 28, Mayor's Message 12-26, Resolution 26-8 on page 6. confirming the appointment of Sterling Higa to serve on the Economic Revitalization Commission of the City and County of Honolulu has been canceled and will not be considered. For your information, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam filed the disclosure of interest statement identified as Council Communication 8-26 with the City Council Clerk's Office on Bill 63, 2025, CD1 relating to real property taxation. Councilmember Okimoto filed disclosure of interest statement with City Clerk's Office identified as Council Communication 9-26 for Resolution 25-321, confirming the appointment of Mr. Gaisen Ontai to the Fire Commission of the City and County of Honolulu, and Council Communication 1026 for Resolution 26-13, confirming the appointment of Ryan Kamo to the Planning Commission for the City and County of Honolulu. Actually, members, before we start the meeting, can we do a moment of silence to honor and recognize the life of Roland F.S. Tam, M.D., Tyler Dos Santos Tam, who passed away on December 31st, 2025. Mr. Tam, Dr. Tam, was a Kalani High School graduate, University of Hawaii graduate, and received his medical degree from the University of Washington. He was an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, president of the Hawaii Society of Otolaryngology and Head and Neck Surgery. I love learning that he boogie boarded on Makapu'u and the Waikiki Wall, loved fishing, playing poker, listening to jazz music, and of course, where I met him at a University of Hawaii basketball game. Apparently, he was a big supporter, going to basketball, volleyball of both men and women. So with your indulgence, members, let's honor Dr. Tam with a moment of silence. Thank you, members. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. And I want to thank everyone for their kindness. It's obviously very difficult to lose a parent, and everyone has just been so kind to me and my mom and my brothers. Thank you for highlighting some of the things he loved, the sort of basic facts of his obituary. You know, an obituary can't fully capture all the many things, and so our family, his friends, everyone who knew him will also remember all of the other things, just sort of his quirky goofiness and how he loved to feed the birds in the morning and make and eat Chinese food and Popeye's chicken and all of these other things that he loved. And it's been certainly a journey, I think, for my mom and my brothers and myself. But again, everybody's been so kind and shown their aloha, and I am forever grateful for that. So mahalo.
Thank you. He will be missed. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam,
Here.
Councilmember Kia Aina,
Here.
Councilmember Nishimoto, Councilmember Okimoto,
Present.
Councilmember Talba,
Here.
Councilmember Tupola,
Ayo.
Councilmember Wire. Here. Chair Waters.
Here.
Mr. Chair, 9 members are present.
Thank you. Floor Leader Kia Aina, any guests?
Thank you, Chair. We have the Director of the Department of Housing and Land Management, Kevin Auger. We have the Medical Examiner, Masahiko Kobayashi. Of course, we have the Mayor's Chief of Staff in the audience, as well as nominees for the various boards and commissions, stakeholders who will be testifying today, and the community at large.
Thank you. Vice Chair Tupola, motion to approve the minutes.
I move that the minutes of the day be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, the minutes have been approved. Moving to the top of page 4, order of the day from the Committee on Zoning and Planning, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 1626 and Resolution 25-320 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kiaina for the explanation.
This resolution confirms the reappointment of Gina Thielen to serve on the Building Board of Appeals of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Aloha, Ms. Thielen. Thank you for joining us today. Would you like to say a few words?
Aloha, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Topola, members of the council. I stand here before you today honored to have served on the Building Board of Appeals for one term, and I am up for reappointment, and I humbly volunteer my services to continue. I did provide some written information about ways that I think the council might want to consider improving the function of the Building Board of Appeals. And with that, I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just want to speak in support. You know, Ms. Thielen has been working with us, the council, for many years, construction, housing, always available, always giving us good input. I will read what was written about maybe how we can make it more efficient. We're always grateful for our volunteers, and I just want to continue to support the good work that a lot of community members do to help us do our job better. So thank you, Ms. Thielen, for your continued service.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 16-26 and Resolution 25-320 CD1 has been adopted. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Moving to the bottom of page 4 from the Committee on Public Safety and the Economy, Councilmember Tolba.
Move that CR 1826 and Resolution 25-321 be adopted.
Councilmember Kiaina for the second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tolba for the explanation.
Confirming the appointment of Gaisen Antai to serve on the Fire Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Is Mr. Antai present? There he is. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha Chair, council members, mahalo for your time and appreciate all the support or process during this confirmation proceeding. I look forward to the opportunity to serve our community and to support the entire Honolulu Fire Department. Here to answer any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 18-26 and Resolution 25-321 has been adopted. Thank you, Mr. Antai, and congratulations. Moving to the top of page 5, Councilmember Tolba.
I move that CR 1926 and Resolution 25-322 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tolba for the explanation.
Confirming the appointment of Gary Yabuta to serve on the Police Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Is Mr. Yabuta here? No, you know, I did get a chance to talk to Mr. Yabuta, and I know he has reached out to each and every one of you. I was very impressed by him and his police background. Chief of Staff Andy Sugg.
Hi, Chair. Thank you. Mr. Yabuta is on his way. He had a little mix-up with the time, but he should be here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
So he will be here shortly.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Sugg. Let's postpone this until he gets here. Moving to the top of page 6, as I mentioned, Resolution 26-8 has been canceled. Moving to Resolution 26-9, confirming the appointment of Perry White to serve on the Ethics Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Is Mr. White here? Aloha, Mr. White. Thank you for being here. Would you like to say a few words?
I'll try to keep it just a few words. First of all, thank you very much for letting me come here. Being on the the commission would be a tremendous experience for me. And more importantly, I think it would give me an opportunity to pay back something to the community that's given me so much. I'm not going to bore you with my resume, which you have copies of, but just say I grew up here, graduated from high school down the street from Roosevelt, and have managed to work as an environmental planner in Hawaii for the past 50 years. During that time, looked at a lot of issues that had to do with ethics, tried to do my best, and hope that I can contribute to sort of more of that in the future if I was approved for the commission.
Thank you so much,
I'll
members.
be meeting with the coming weeks with anybody who wants to and try to answer any detailed questions you have. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 26-9 has been referred to the Committee on International and Legal Affairs. Members, turning back to page 5, I see Mr. Yabuta is here. Aloha, Mr. Yabuta, would you like to say a few words?
Okay, I'm going to apologize for being late. It won't happen again. Honored to be here and to answer any questions that the council may have.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? No, thank you, sir. You know, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we did get a chance to meet with you one-on-one, and we're very impressed with your credentials and your willingness to serve, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Chair.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, it looks like we have one person in the chamber desiring
Aloha,
to testify.
please proceed.
Aloha. Aloha, Uncle Gary. Thank you for coming on board to join the police commissioners. You know, I'm there all the time. The last time we had the police commissioners meeting, I dropped more intel about the Epstein files and the pedophile global human trafficking drug smuggling network. So with you on board, hopefully you can help shed some light, help protect more survivors, and nail the perpetrators, and we can figure this out together. So welcome aboard, and this is my Pikachu support for you. Chihu! Yeah, you. Aloha. Adios gozaimashita.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Is there anyone else wishing to testify? Please proceed.
Good morning, Tim Gary. I support Mr. Yabuto on the commission, but I'd also like to express my disappointment in the current police commission. Utmost in inefficiencies. We've been without a police chief for months now, and they're now just getting around to picking a consultant to go through the background check. If this was up to the mayor to pick our police chief, I'm sure it wouldn't take this long. The Catholic Church can appoint a new pope in a matter of weeks, but it seems to take the police commission up to a year to appoint a new chief. The problem is in the system, and I hope the Charter Commission will change this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gary. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none, members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I just want to speak in favor and in support of Mr. Yabuta. I also want to thank the administration for their recent nominations have really helped to round out and shape the commission. So, you know, I think to Mr. Gary's point, we've needed kind of some of this guidance, obviously with your background as a former chief of police, the other commissioner's background with multiple chief of police areas that he's served in. It's very, very helpful. And I do think currently the consultant has already been chosen and is actually meeting with people. I want to say I ran into him and it was like already like 12 or 20 people and he had only been here for a few days. So I know that all of us are very anxious. We want to know what's going to happen with the new direction of HPD, but at the same time, you know, the commission has a huge job. We're putting a very big job, very big responsibility on you. So, you know, in all the words that we've ever said to them, we want them to move so expeditiously, but also cautiously, also making sure that there is a very thorough vetting. We've been through too many chief of police recently, too much turnover, and so we want to do this well, and we're very confident that you're the right guy to be on the commission at this time right now. So thank you for your background, and thank you for your service and being willing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 19-26 and Resolution 25-322 has been adopted. Thank you and congratulations. Members, moving to the bottom of page 6, Resolution 26-10, confirming the appointment of Julie Piontrowski to serve on the Grants and Aid and Advisory Commission to the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha and welcome.
Aloha, Chair Waters and members of the council. I'm so honored to be here this morning and to be considered for this position to serve my community and the island that I love. I began my public service over 25 years ago at Ground Zero in New York. I was very young. It was my first volunteer role, and that started 2 decades of public service for me at the local level and ultimately at the federal level, working at the highest levels of government in Washington, D.C. for cabinet secretaries, most recently as a speechwriter for the CDC director. My husband and I first came to Hawaii in 2018. He is a proud member of the U.S. Navy, and both of us are new business owners here in Hawaii. We own an apartment, and we are very much committed to contributing here on the island that we love. I'm available for any questions. I know this is a very important position for the Grants Committee, one that is non-political and requires much attention to the data and evaluating the information to approve applications with integrity. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Piotrowski, for putting your name forward. I do, clearly with regard to qualifications, I have no doubt in an isolated environment, you just have top-notch credentials. I am concerned, however, that with this commission, because of the scarcity of funds and the impact from the federal government, there's a lot of worthy nonprofit organizations who are not getting funding. And so for me, what I'm looking at with regard to commissioners would be people who have, a knowledge of our communities. And so while you've been here since 2018, I'm not sure that you know a lot about our nonprofit world and the complexity of struggles that our communities are facing. So can you talk about that a little? Because I know that we're going to have a hearing and I can ask more questions there, but I need to tell you, you would be an excellent candidate for a top-tier job actually in the administration. I don't necessarily believe it may be on this commission because things are really tough right now. And I think it's very important for someone in this position to understand geographically all the island, all of our communities, and the missions of the various nonprofits. What is your familiarity with the various communities on Oahu and the nonprofit organizations?
Sure, thank you so much for the opportunity to respond. This is a tough time, certainly, as you said, with the decrease in federal funding. And so these organizations are relying very much on local funds, and we want to ensure that there is an equitable distribution and that everyone is considered. I do know that there were some recent changes made to lower the award amount, I think from $200,000 to $150,000, so that more groups would be eligible. I know that applications are up considerably. I think it's 192, up from 140, 145. So it's certainly the need is there. There's a demonstrated need. I can tell you that I am an avid reader of most of the press, and the coverage of what is happening in all of the communities here, from the North Shore to the East Side. There are many different types of services that are needed, from affordable housing to healthcare access, expansion, maternal child health. You know, the committee has determined the parameters for which the applications are to be evaluated. And so that's not something that I determine, but I can tell you that with utmost integrity, I will adhere to those parameters for evaluating the applicants so that they will receive equal consideration, non-political consideration, as long as their applications are complete. And I think there is a new checklist approach to help these organizations just put together a more complete presentation so that time is not lost having to go back to some organizations that really are short-staffed. And so I think my perception, from what I understand of this group, is that they are really committed to making sure that they are reaching out and doing more marketing to reach communities that may not have considered applying, to provide them with the tools and the assistance to apply. And I will be a good steward of those funds, and also to be a liaison as needed and as appropriate.
Thank you for that answer. I have no doubt that you can. My concern continues to be that it's important to actually understand our communities and actually have demonstrated experience of working with not just our communities, but with the nonprofit organizations. So thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you in committee.
Thank you so much. Members, any further questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you so much. I believe we have one registered testifier, Natalie Iwasa. Aloha, welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Chair, Council members. Natalie Iwasa for the record. Thank you so much for stepping forward, Julie. I'm not even going to try to say your last name. I just wanted to ask, should you be appointed, that when you look at all these applications, and I totally understand there's more of a need out there, that we make sure that all of the applicants are in compliance with our laws. State grants just went out recently, and I know a couple of them were not in compliance, and we should not be spending our taxpayer money that way. I also wanted to mention, however, you know, that I hope you and all of the appointees or potential appointees feel free to voice their opinions. There should not be any fear of retaliation or retribution on the appointees or anybody who wants to speak their opinion and hold government or government officials accountable. So thank you. That's my testimony, and I look forward to the committee hearing.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else from the community who would like to testify? Seeing none, thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Hearing none. Resolution 26-10 has been referred to the Committee on Budget. Turning to page 7, Resolution 26-11, confirming the reappointment of Debbie Elenecki to serve on the Fire Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha, Ms. Elenecki. Thank you so much for being here. Would you like to say a few words?
Aloha and good morning, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Tupola, honorable council members. My name is Debbie Elenecki. I've been serving on the Fire Commission since April 2023, and this morning I am seeking reappointment to serve another term. You know, this year for the department, they faced a lot of challenges in 2025, with the most significant being the line of duty death of Firefighter 1 Jeffrey Fiala on January 6th. And something was very apparent as I watched them navigate as an organization and as individuals navigate that tragedy and other challenges throughout 2025. And that is that they put their people first, and that they're really good at bonding together and unifying as one family to navigate these challenges and this type of tragedy. And it's been a consistent behavior in the department. And I can say that because I was privileged to wear the uniform for nearly 32 years. Honored and humbled to share that I was the first female firefighter to join HFD in 1987, and I retired in 2018 as the first female battalion fire chief. So I guess simply put, I want to continue to serve our public and support a department that has supported me. And so thank you for the opportunity. And I think sitting in this capacity will allow me the privilege and opportunity to do that. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you.
Chair, question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Okimoto, please proceed.
Sorry, thank you, Chair. Aloha, good morning, Debbie. So happy to have you here with us. And thank you for your continued desire to serve on the commission. We all know, we should know that it's voluntary. You guys are not paid. And I've always been grateful for your prior experience, current experience, and all you can bring to the commission. And you did mention some of the things that were unfortunate incidents in the department from last year. And there are others. What are your goals moving forward? You mentioned that you were able to see how the department was able to move forward, band together, but as you continue, because now you're coming as more of a experienced member on the commission while we have some new people coming on, what are your goals and your takeaways, learning from what you have, moving forward to help the department always to improve, especially in addressing some of the concerns that occurred last year?
You know, one of the first things that was, we did was look in the mirror. The fire department is going through their 6th accreditation. There's over 30,000 fire departments in the country, and they are only 1% of that 30,000 departments that are seeking accreditation, that have earned accreditation, and a very small percentage of that is seeking their 6th accreditation. So that is a self-assessment of them, of them looking in the mirror and putting them up against industry standards and benchmarks from a third-party evaluator. So the first thing was for the commission to look internally at ourselves and see where we can improve efficiencies to move forward strategically as one body, right? When you speak about the challenges moving forward, I think it's important that we continue to support some of their peer support programs, which focuses on the morale, wellness, and recreation of our uniform members. And not just the uniform. We have a tremendous civilian staff that supports us and have been a consistent body there when the uniform cycles through with each administration. And so not overlooking that part as well.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you. I really do appreciate, we all have shared how much we support and respect our first responders, and I really look forward to all that you can offer. It's always a positive thing when we as the members can see that on the commission we have people that have on-the-ground experience, and I'm thankful that we have this relationship, and I look forward to continuing. I have appreciated when commissioners like yourself reach out to us as council members, and I would encourage you to encourage your fellow commissioners to continue to do the same. That doesn't always happen in every scenario, so it is helpful for us because we want to be able to support you guys the best that we can. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, Resolution 26-11.
Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Tupola.
Oh, I just wanted to be part of the discussion, but did we take testimony already? Yeah.
No, good point. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I feel like I'm looking at the rel son of the HFD right here. I mean, literally, I feel it when you're around. And when I went to the 150th celebration, I kid you not, I was just so impressed. I mean, I might have said it to you, I might not have, but I know you're on the commission, but you were also a firefighter, and I know there's a lot that could be improved, but I just feel like the overall sentiment, the way it was put together, the honor that was given, to how the fire department came about, the honor of the Hawaiian culture that happened, the food, the dancing. I mean, HPD could just get together a hula like how you guys got the hula together. I mean, my goodness, I just was so impressed. And I just want to say thank you, because this isn't like something that happened this year, today. This is years and years and years of HFD building this legacy of people caring this much, like how you mentioned. So just wanted to share my thoughts on this, because it still kind of impacted me till today. After I left, I was so blown away. So whatever small part you had in it, and of course for all the years of your service, just thank you, and thank you for being willing to continue your service on the commission. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. I also wanted to just commend Debbie for stepping forward again. Good to see you. You know, fire mitigation, overall fire mitigation is important not only for Oahu, but all of the state of Hawaii. And I think that we are still learning about how to strengthen our capacity within our communities post-Lahaina. Public Safety Committee Chair Augie Tauba and I are hoping to work with the major stakeholders, not just HFD and other first responders, but both HECO as well as large landowners, Kamehameha schools, because the liability that was incurred post-Lahaina fires, of course, was collective in nature. And as a result of that, I guess I'm just trying to impart to you what's on my mind, because it's so important. And we go to our neighborhood boards, and people are worried, not just about the current capacity for boots on the ground to exit during disasters, natural disasters, but whether or not we have exit strategies in each community. So I'm just delighted that you're going to be re-upping, and hopefully you can work in tandem with HFD to make sure that we follow through, and that the city administration indeed has a concrete overall fire mitigation strategy for our communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited that you brought that up. I kind of failed to mention that when Chair Val Okimoto, council member, that was one of the points that I did want to raise, was that interagency cooperation and more of an all hazards approach to incident management and mitigation. So regardless of whether it's a natural disaster or something that's man-made, we take an all hazards approach following the National Incident Management System, which falls under the Presidential Declaration of Homeland Security, number 5. So I'm excited to have further discussions with you, Vice Chair Kiaina of the Public Safety Committee, as well as Chair Toba. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, Resolution 26-11 has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Moving to the middle of page 7, Resolution 26-12, confirming the reappointment of Deborah Louis Anderson to serve on the Economic Revitalization Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Is Deborah Louis Anderson present? Aloha, thank you for being here. Would you like to say a few words?
Hi. It has been actually a privilege to be able to represent be a representative for small business on the OER Commission. We've worked really hard, and it was a learning curve coming off of COVID be part of the inaugural commission. And I feel we really worked together, and we're starting to hit our stride. So I look forward to serving again.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. Members, or excuse me, Mr. Clerk, any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members who are in discussion? Seeing none, Resolution 26-12 has been referred to the Committee on Energy, Environment, and Sustainability. Moving to the bottom of page 7, Resolution 26-13, confirming the reappointment of Ryan Kamo to serve on the Planning Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha, Mr. Kamo. Thank you for being here. Would you like to say a few words?
Aloha, Chair Waters, and honorable members of the City Council. Thank you for your consideration and for the opportunity to continue serving the people of Honolulu through the Planning Commission. It's been a privilege to support decisions around planning at the council level, and I remain committed to advancing policies that reflect values, needs, and long-term resilience of our island home. Happy to meet with any council member should you have any questions, and provided the opportunity, I look forward to continued collaboration in service to our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamo. Members, do we have any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 26-13 has been referred to the Committee on Zoning and Planning. Moving to the top of page 8, first reading items. Vice Chair Tupola.
I move that the first reading items listed on pages 8 through 13 of the agenda pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Tupola for the explanation.
Bill 78, 2025, relating to parking. Bill 1, 2026, relating to the establishment of fees and charges for services of the Department of the Medical Examiner. Bill 4, 2026, relating to incentives for the construction of affordable rental housing. Bill 5, 2026, relating to development standards in the apartment and apartment mixed-use districts. Bill 6, relating to development standards in the apartment and apartment mixed-use districts. Bill 7, 2026, relating to sign standards for apartment and apartment mixed-use districts. Bill 8, 2026, relating to funds. Bill 9, 2026, relating to funds. Bill 10, 2026, relating to lease and rental of city real property. Bill 11, 2026, relating to affordable housing incentives. Bill 12, 2026, relating to sewers, drainage, and cesspools. Bill 13, 2026, relating to the Clean Water and Natural Land Funds. Bill 14, 2026, relating to the real property tax exemption for low-income rental housing. Bill 15, 2026, relating to affordable housing standards. Bill 16, 2026, relating to the regulation of dogs. Bill 17, 2026, relating to affordable rental housing. And there we have it, first reading.
Thank you so much. Obviously, you all have been busy working hard during the Christmas break. It's reflected in our first reading items. I believe we have 16 bills. We will have an opportunity to further debate. I do want to remind folks that it is first reading. Having said that, Mr. Clerk, let's start with Bill 78. Do we have any testifiers?
Yes, sir. We have unregistered testifier in the chamber, Mr. Munakata.
Okay, Mr. Micah Monekata. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha, Chair and Council. My name is Micah Munakata with the Ulupona Initiative. Just testifying in support of Bill 78. Really appreciate the administration's work on this measure and the council hearing this measure. We just continue to find that this is a great step by the city to start to manage its resources in a very smart and effective way. So thank you very much, Chair.
No, thank you. Are you okay? I noticed you have a bandage on your arm. And
yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
No, thank you. May I share what happened?
Sure, you can.
So a dog came and bit him while he was carrying his baby. So we're going to look into that for you. Yeah, no, very brave. Thank you. Okay, we're still on Bill 78. Any further testifiers? Tim Gary, please proceed.
Good morning, Tim Gary. I looked at this new bill, and it was kind of complicated. There was a lot of stuff crossed out, new stuff put in, and I'm really concerned about Waikiki, Chair. We had an increase in parking rates down there a couple of years ago where they doubled it. And I want to get into the committee and find out more about it. I talked to Adam about it. But there's going to be some concerns about floating rates and stuff to where theoretically, it could be $9 an hour to park in Waikiki. So if somebody wanted to go down and surf at Queens and they parked in one of the stalls, they'd be spending, if it went through and it came to that, $18 to go surf. There's a lot of things that are wrong with the current system to where the fees for the parking fines and stuff go to the state, even though the city incurs the costs of the parking meter guys, and we don't get reimbursed for that. The new meters they put in years ago, they actually have the capability, I talked to the people that installed them, they actually have the capability of reading the license number if it's in violation and sending a ticket to the registered owner. So we're using a system that we're not fully implementing, number one, but the whole thing needs to be looked at.
Thank you, Mr. Gary.
Thank you. I'll talk to you in committee about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we do have a member from DTS to come and answer any questions from the members. Is there anybody else from the public who'd like to testify? Please come forward. This is Bill 78, Bill 78, dealing with parking. Seeing none. Members, we're in discussion. Does anybody have any questions for DTS?
Oh, Chair, I think there was one testifier approaching.
Jolie, aloha, welcome. Please proceed. Thank you, Vice Chair. We're on Bill 78, dealing with parking. Bill 78.
Yes, I didn't know what other people said. That's what I meant. But for me, my concern with this bill is that it doesn't really give any kind of information on where you're going to decide to put these. So is it going to be in working class neighborhoods where we're going to have to, where already spaces at a premium and have to park on the street? That's going to kill us working class people. Are you planning on putting it in the fancier neighborhoods near the beach and it prohibits us from parking, or it makes it more difficult for us to park and go to Lanikai Beach, whatever, this one is, to me, I feel that this is a really bad bill because it's just so vague and all it does is burdens people, with more fees and fares and all of those things that we were talking about before. So that's what I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Thank you. Seeing none. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask if someone from the administration would be able to just give a very brief but overview of this large bill that we will be reviewing in committee.
Yes. I believe we have a member from the administration, Department of Transportation Services. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair and council members. My name is Chris Clark. I'm the Chief Planner in the Department of Transportation Services. DTS supports Bill 78, and the expectation of the bill is to modernize our on and off-street parking system. And so these rates really haven't been, in this section of the ordinance, hasn't been touched in over a decade. And as to answer some of the questions from the members of the public, the expectation of this bill doesn't touch any of the sections regarding adding new meters. So DTS is not intending to add new meters out into other areas with this bill. What we're really focusing in on is trying to restructure the rates. And with this bill, we only move the rates 25 cents, and we're suggesting that that be done every quarter. So it's not that this would be an instant, massive increase in the prices, that we would look at this on a basis using, just as was described, the smart meters that are there, the data observed from how full the parking spaces are, to help us make informed decisions about what better rates would be so that we can fully maximize those spaces that are available. Some of the other pieces to it is the ordinance currently strictly prescribes which off-street lots would be metered versus those that we would operate through a concession, like contracting out for someone to operate for us. So we're asking for some flexibility there so we can best choose the business model that works for the city. And so the rate structure sets a minimum and a maximum and then uses the data in between there so that every quarter we could update the rates with public involvement. We also want to make sure that we can generate enough revenue, especially in our off-street lots, to start to tackle some of the maintenance needs are there, ventilation, life safety improvements that are really critical to make sure those facilities are safe. So thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you, Chief Clerk, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further questions, members, for DTS? Seeing none, thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Nishimoto.
Please note my reservations.
Okay. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none. Moving on, thank you. I'm going to take a vote altogether. If there's any no's, then we take that out of order, do a roll call vote. Okay, moving on to Bill 1, relating to the establishment of fees and charges for services of the Department of the Medical Examiner. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any registered testifiers? Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, note, members, we do have the medical examiner and his team present if members have any questions. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, thank you. Moving on to page 9. Page 9, Bill 4, relating to incentives for the construction of affordable rental housing. Bill, I do believe we have in person Gina Thielen and Shelby Pikachu Billionaire.
Aloha mai kako, Pikachu Shelby Billy, you're back. Happy New Year to all of you. Good to see city council members, but I was expecting some donuts today, some fresh refreshments, because we just had the opening for the state legislature. It's good to see you guys again today. To save you guys time in support of this bill, also Bill 4, 12, 15, 17, and 54, to save you guys the time. But I do want to address what Peter Savio said about modernizing the leases, because rental housing is a crime when you're taking away the cash flow, equity, and appreciation and depreciation from people who play the cash flow game, Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump train, about real estate investing. It's good to start with real estate housing, but you can also build your own house. You can get a shack at Home Depot, put it on some wheels, avoid the permit process. You can also do container homes, Big Island style, and still put it on wheels to avoid the permit process style. 20-footer costs $3 grand, 40-footer costs $6 grand. You can do it like Texas style. I'm not GOD trying to tell you what to do, but we can definitely be creative for how we're going to do affordable housing solutions for everyone on planet Earth. My motto would be to teach the kids how to build their own hala themselves, like they did back in Chief of War days, and so they have to teach them a skill set to last for a lifetime. Matthew 4:19, teach them how to fish, and you feed them for a lifetime. Chihu, yeah you, aloha.
Aloha. Thank you. Gina Thielen?
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the council, switch sides. And came over here to testify on a number of bills. As you mentioned, you folks have been very busy at the start of the year. I just want to say that I'm here in support of Bill 4. I believe amendments to the support for the Bill 7 program are well warranted. This is a program that has started to show some real promise in affecting our housing crisis on the island of Oahu. And I believe if we can further supplement this program, we will attract more investment and more developers to step in and build more of these units at a very low cost to the city and county of Honolulu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Since you're up, would you like to testify on the other bills that you have registered to testify on? You could do it now, or I could call you up when each of the bills are called. I'll leave that up to you.
I think I'm only signed up to verbally testify on Bill 17, and so I would wait on that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 4? Bill 4. Okay, seeing none. Members, any discussion?
Chair.
Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the introducers of Bill 4. It's definitely about strengthening pre-construction subsidies without reinforcing post-construction support. These projects vulnerable, and it actually gives a lot of rising cost and some financial gaps. So I'm grateful for the bill. I think that it actually addresses both sides of it, and within a single accountable legislative vehicle, we could possibly pull all of this together. So I just wanted to make mention that There are multiple bills touching Chapter 32, Bill 7 projects, and so my office is working on one vehicle, and this is actually a very good bill that will be incorporated into it, that we can all kind of look at the framework and then go through all of the pieces together from what the department really feels like they need for efficiency, as well as the builders, and what we think ultimately will hit our constituents in the most effective way. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Bill 4? Seeing Councilmember Nishimoto?
Do we state our objections now, or are you going to do a vote?
You can now or at the
Please
end.
note my reservations.
Reservations. Okay. Any other further discussion? Seeing none. Thank you, members. Turning to Bill 5, relating to the development standards in the apartment and apartment mixed-use districts. I believe I don't have any registered testifiers. Is there anybody from the audience who'd like to testify on Bill 5?
Mr. Chair, we have one person with their hand raised by video conference.
Okay. Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Young from CARES. I'm just wishing to comment on the development standards, that this is also something in discussion at the state, where they just had their first housing committee hearing in the Senate. And so with all the kakako high-rises popping up, I think right now with Bill 4 and Bill 5, with the Bill 4 post-construction funding, this can help fund a lot of the developers' projects. And of course, as someone who's getting trained to manage properties, my concern I've brought up is working with Tier 1, so individuals in the lower income classification, and not Tier 2, which are the nurses, firefighters, and teachers. Because Tier 1, if there was more funding, whether it's post-construction covered by the city's programs, or in the rental housing revolving fund from the state side, both the state and the city working on these funding sources can really help get more people into housing, and so that we can protect the senior demographics and special needs persons and those who are in the lower income category. Thanks.
Thank you. May I also incorporate your testimony on Bill 6, which deals with the same subject? Thank you very much. Is there any other testifiers on Bill 5 or 6?
Mr. Chair, we also have, looks like Donald Sakamoto remotely.
Okay, on Bill 5 or 6? Mr. Sakamoto, are you testifying on Bill 5 and Bill 6? If you are, please proceed.
Good morning, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Tapola, and other council members. Donald Sakamoto for the record. Yeah, I pretty much support the two bills that are listed here talking about. My concern is making sure that we have enough affordable and accessible housing for the disabled so they can get what they need, especially accommodations and reconfiguration of their apartment or whatever to have accessible kitchen, bathrooms, and all that kind of stuff, especially if you're a double amputee. So I support the intent of the bill, and I'll be testifying later and when it goes to a second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, on Bill 6, we have Wilfred Motosue registered in person.
Hello, Mr. Motosue. Please come forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Waters and Vice Chair Tupolo and other members of the council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my testimony this morning in favor of Bill 5, 2026 and Bill 6, 2026. The proposal to amend the land use ordinance by increasing the FAR densities for all apartment and apartment mixed-use districts is the best way for Honolulu to develop new projects of condominiums on Oahu. This will reduce or keep housing prices from increasing too fast by increasing our housing inventory. So I have a few things that that I'm finding out through working on trying to develop a small project in town. And the problems we're getting into are these following. Being a small developer, I think that to encourage them to, small developers to develop condominium projects, the City Council and DPP should need to exempt small projects for sale condos with less than 100 units and exempt developments of 100 or less subdivided home lots from Ordinance 1810, Chapter 29, Affordable Housing Requirements, which requires residential projects that have 10 or more condo units or home lots in the project to set aside 10% of those condo units or lots to sell at reduced pricing. Exemptions should also be given to projects with 100 or less dwelling units for cluster housing projects and planned development housing projects besides multi-unit dwellings. And the other thing before I get cut off is the apartment units. For apartment units, the parking requirements. If the parking side and rear yard setbacks can be like Bill 7, where parking can encroach into the side and rear yards. More parking can be provided for small developments, small lot developments on A2 lots like 5,000 square feet parcels. And that's what I'm working on. In addition to 2 levels of parking are provided, if 2 levels of parking are provided, which is what we're trying to do, the upper level should be allowed to encroach into the side and rear yards too, provided the solid wall portion of the property line can be limited to 6 feet high, like a fence. However, open railings should be allowed to extend beyond the 6 feet height limit. With more parking, more units can be developed on small lots. Furthermore, more parking on the site will relieve the demand for street parking, which would also reduce the disputes with neighbors. And I've heard a lot of disputes are going on. One other thing, before I go, I believe that Bill 5's adjustments to the minimum lot areas and lot widths and depths should be combined with Bill 6, maximum building area changes. I also believe that BMX 3 zone parcels should have their FAR increased to 4 also from 2.5. Finally, we should provide all our locals with the opportunity to buy and own the units that they live in so they can build equity so that when the family starts growing, they have kids, they could sell the unit and upgrade to a bigger unit. If they were renting from whoever, the city, state, or whoever have rentals.
Thank you, Mr. Motosui. Look forward to hearing your testimony in the Zoning and Planning Committee meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 5 and/or 6? Please come forward, sir.
Don't want that to fall down. Aloha, my name is Perry R. Smith. I'm the Director of Policy at Housing Alight East Future. We submitted written testimony in strong support of both Bill 5 and Bill 6. We think that there's great content in both of those bills, and they're very similar. We also found that the DPP's findings in the report that they transmitted with both bills was very promising. If I'm not mistaken, with subdivision, this could unlock about 5,000 new lots for future development for both home ownership opportunities and for rental opportunities for residents. We believe that home builders need more flexibility, and we believe that that flexibility will translate into more options for residents who need more housing. So we look forward to working with the council on both of these measures. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 5 and 6? Seeing none, any discussion, members? Seeing none, thank you. Turning to page 10, Bill 7, relating to sign standards for apartment mixed-use districts. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Okay, any discussion on Bill 7 at this time? Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. This bill is the result of several years of work with Ho'opili and other mixed-use communities to address a basic but critical issue for neighborhood-serving businesses, visibility. In apartment and mixed-use districts, these small businesses are essential to walkability and daily life, yet our current LUO makes the businesses very hard to find. So Bill 7 modernizes the rule in a limited, thoughtful way, and we will be introducing a CD1 to further refine the proposal by reducing the allowable sign area from 12 square feet to 9 square feet per the Planning Commission's recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Bill 8, relating to funds, creating a fund to receive and expend monies to support fire prevention activities. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have both in-person and by video conference testifiers.
Okay, is that Stephanie Kendrick and Natalie Wasso?
Yes, sir.
Let's start with Natalie Wasso.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. I think at a recess or lunchtime, perhaps you folks can fix this mic. With respect to Bill 8, what this would do is create a new fund for fire plans review. I'm opposed to it. It would be used for public education, investigations, inspections, and some other things that are listed in the bill. And it's funded by fire plan review fees. You know that every time you set up a special fund, it reduces your flexibility. That fund and that money can only be used for that purpose. And even if it just gathers money over the years, like Pauahi, it just sits there and can't be used for other needed services. So I oppose it. I ask you to vote no. In addition to reducing your flexibility, it also creates more bureaucracy because it requires separate accounting for that fund and another report for the administration to deliver. So I oppose that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Stephanie Kendrick available?
Where am I? Aloha, Chair. Sorry about that.
No, aloha.
So you have our support in our testimony in support of Bill 16, and out of deference to the fact that this is first reading, I will stand on that. I just want to say that I'm really grateful to Councilmember Okimoto's office for introducing this measure. We need to have better tools for addressing the stray dog population, and this will very much help us do that.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers on Bill 8?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to thank, and I think just to clarify, Ms. Kendrick that was on the online, she's testifying on a bill that will be coming up, but this one was actually related to the fire fund. I just want to first of all thank the auditor's office for taking into account, our desire as a council to make sure that we're transparent and make sure that we're accounting for the taxpayer dollars properly. I want to also thank the department, the fire department, and Chief Howell for working so in tangent with my office. The purpose of this measure, because I know there was some testimony in opposition, but just to clarify, the purpose of this measure was to take into account some of those recommendations given to us by the auditor. Some key takeaways is to codify the Fire Prevention Fund into the ROH. This fund already exists, but in order to maintain transparency, because again, we want to make sure that the accounting of the funds are properly accounted for. The information previously provided, that's what this measure provides an avenue to consolidate what they have throughout the year into one report. And also HFD will have a reporting requirement when the budget is presented, which will be helpful for us as a council. The intent, again, is to ensure that the funds are spent appropriately and for the purposes specified in the fire code. And I want to, again, thank the department for being able to work cooperatively with my office in order to get to this point, taking into account what the auditors had suggested for us. So thank you for the discussion. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Bill 8? Seeing none. Bill 9, relating to funds, abolishing the Pauahi project expenditures. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
I believe Natalie Wasso wants to testify. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. I support this. So in general, I do not support general funds. There are very few, or special funds, sorry. There are very few that I would support. So I thank the introducer for introducing this particular bill. It hasn't had any activity for a long time. There's $1 million in there. I don't know how long it's been sitting there, but been sitting there gathering dust, perhaps a little bit of interest here and there, but not being used for our general services needed in the city. So I support that bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, thank you, members. Moving to page 11, Bill 10, relating to the lease and rental of city real property. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, we do have registered testifiers here in the chamber, Ms. Iwasa and Ms. Shulan Kwa.
Thank you. Please proceed, Ms. Iwasa.
Thank you, Natalie Iwasa, for the record. So just a comment, I haven't really looked at the merits of this bill, in particular, just some technical aspects. When you're talking about nonprofit organizations, there are, 26 different types, at least according to the Internal Revenue Code. And so in this particular bill, it looks to me like you're trying to aim toward the charitable, the 501c3 organizations, which I support. But one of the phrasing of must distribute assets to a nonprofit, that's not quite correct. It should be charitable purposes, not just any nonprofit purposes. The Internal Revenue Code is 1986, not 1954. And it hasn't had a committee referral yet, at least according to the information I looked at online last night. So hopefully this will go probably, I'm guessing before budget, but I'll look forward to the discussion in committee. Thank you.
Next, we have Nam Vu. Is Nam Vu available?
Mr. Chair, the testifier is not logged on.
Okay. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 10? Aloha, welcome.
Good morning, Chair. Chungwan Schubert Kwok, Chinatown. I noticed there are empty city spaces, buildings, that could be made used by nonprofits and community advocacy so that they can work together with the city, especially in critical areas like Chinatown, Iwalei, Kalihi, so that these nonprofit community organizations have a place that residents and businesses can come to and consult and then reach out to city agencies. I think it's a good bill to support. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 10?
Yes.
Anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 10? Seeing none, thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, thank you. Moving on to Bill 11, relating to affordable housing incentives. Bill 11, I believe, I don't have a registered testify, but is anybody in the audience who'd like to testify on Bill 11? Seeing none, any discussion, members? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. Just for time, I'll note reservations for Bill 11, 13, 14, and 15. Thank you.
Okay. Let me write this down. Reservations on Bills 11?
Yeah, 11.
12?
13, not 12.
13?
Yeah, 14.
14?
And 15. I'll wait till 17 for discussion, but I left that off because I'll be voting no, so I know that'll require the separate vote. Yeah, just for time quick, I mean, overall, I think I understand some of the intent. With those four measures, my concern was just to the extent that we're looking at either pulling back funds or removing tools to build affordable housing. I'm just extremely cautious about that. And then, of course, with the Clean Water Fund, I'm going to just defer to organizations working in conservation and preservation about the best path forward in terms of how to modify that fund. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you. Briefly on Bill 11, I just want to ensure that it preserves all of the incentives that we have for affordable housing. However, it is providing a more clear and transparent way for us to share publicly how we grant, to whom we grant, and what the city is receiving in return when we offer these incentives. It's something that the public has asked us readily, is if we are giving all of these benefits, then what are we getting in return? How can we see what was given? So I look forward to working with DIT or whoever in the city administration to make sure that this is not overly burdensome, but it was a transparency tool. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Bill 11? Thank you, members. Moving to Bill 12, relating to sewers, drainage, and cesspools. We have one testifier, I believe, Shelby Pikachu Billionaire, who has left the building. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 12? Bill 12, seeing none, any discussion, members? Thank you. Moving on to Bill 13 on page 12. Bill 13 related to the Clean Water and Natural Lands Fund. I believe we have Leah Hong. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha, Leah Hong, State Director for the Trust for Public Land, testifying in opposition to Bill 13. We appreciate and mahalo the Council and Chair Waters and Councilmember Kia'aina for their desire to improve the Clean Water and Natural Lands Program, but we have grave concerns about many of the provisions in Bill 13 that may unintentionally make the program less efficient and hurt Oahu projects seeking matching federal and state funding. We've submitted detailed testimony regarding our concerns, and we would welcome the opportunity to work with council staff on proposed legislation to improve the program and address the council's concerns. So we stand on that testimony, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you so much. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you so much. Happy to work with you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 13? Seeing none, any discussion? Seeing none, thank you, members. Moving to Bill 14, relating to the real property tax exemption for low-income rental housing. I believe we have two registered testifiers, Gina Thielen and Natalie Wassa. Since you're already closer, Natalie, would you like to go first?
Thank you. Natalie Wassa for the record. I support this. Basically what this bill does is it says that if you have a building with part low rental and other part market rent, that it would allow the exemption only on the low income rental portion, and I support that. Currently there are 265 properties in this classification that costs us $21.8 million. And you've heard me say many times that I think we need to be reviewing our exemptions. Many of them should be eliminated, but I do support this, and I thank the introducers for taking a look at this.
Thank you. Gina Thielen.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the council. I'll stand on written testimony in opposition to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 14? Aloha, welcome.
Aloha, council members. My name is McKinley Eads, and I'm testifying on behalf of Avalon Development Group in opposition of Bill 14. Bill 14 proposes to significantly narrow the real property tax exemption for low-income rental housing by limiting the exemption only to the portion of a project attributed to the regulated affordable units. While this may appear to be a technical adjustment, the impact on financing and long-term feasibility is substantial. Many of the projects affected by this measure are already built or already financed based on the long-standing assumption, embedded in underwriting, loan documents, and regulatory agreements, that the full project RPT exemption would apply for the duration of the regulated period. These projects were structured with extremely tight margins, relying heavily on the income relief that the exemption provides. Removing or reducing this exemption after the fact would undermine completed financing structures and create immediate operating deficits for the project that are already serving households at or below 80% AMI. Unlike deeply affordable projects, these 80% AMI units do not qualify for low-income housing tax credits, meaning they lack the primary subsidy tool that most affordable developments depend on. Without LIHTC, the RPT exemption is the one and only remaining mechanisms that make these moderate income rental projects financially feasible in Honolulu's high-cost constructions and operations environment. If the full exemption is removed, lenders will review these projects as significantly riskier, and future deals will be far more difficult, if not impossible, to pencil. Additionally, narrowing the exemption will increase ongoing costs for the non-exempt units, which must absorb the difference through higher operating expenses. This will place pressure on rents, erode reserves, and destabilize projects that are already operating within thin margins. For future developments, the uncertainty created by revising an incentive post-construction will deter investment and delay badly needed rental housing. The Council's stated goal is to expand affordable rental opportunities. Bill 14 moves in the opposite direction by making these projects harder to finance, harder to sustain, and less likely to be built. For these reasons, we respectfully urge you to oppose Bill 14 and preserve the RPT exemption as a critical tool for producing and maintaining rental housing for our working families. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 14? Bill 14. Seeing none, any discussion on Bill 14? Councilmember Tolba.
Reservations on Bill 14. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, members. Turning to Bill 15, relating to affordable housing requirements. I believe we have one registered testifier, Shelby Pikachu Billionaire, who is not present. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 15? Please come forward.
Aloha, Council members. My name is McKinley Eads, and I'm testifying on behalf of Avalon Development in strong opposition of Bill 15. Bill 15 would eliminate the 10% for-sale 30-year affordability option for TOD projects. While this may appear to be a simple policy cleanup, it removes a critical flexibility tool that some TOD and IPDT projects need in order to pencil. TOD projects already face higher construction costs, challenging site conditions, and tight financial margins. The current set of compliance pathways exists because not every project can meet the same requirements. In fact, 2 recent TOD projects relied on this exact option to move forward. Removing it doesn't fix the marketing challenges those projects encountered. It simply takes away one of the few viable compliance routes that made them financially feasible in the first place. Narrowing options doesn't address the real issue. The city has never taken a comprehensive look at the financial pressures slowing TOD housing production. Instead, Bill 15 forces projects into fewer, more rigid pathways, increasing costs, reducing feasibility, and in some cases, pushing developers to walk away entirely. Importantly, keeping this pathway harms no one. If the 30-year option doesn't work for a project, the developer chooses another path. But for certain projects, especially those with high land costs or complex sites, this option can be the difference between moving forward and not moving at all. At a time when Honolulu needs more housing than ever, Bill 15 moves in the wrong direction. Flexibility is the engine of development. By removing valid compliance options, Bill 15 restricts our ability to navigate complex market conditions and ultimately results in fewer keys in the hands of local families. For these reasons, I respectfully urge the Council to reject Bill 15. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 15? Bill 15. Seeing none, any discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I know I noted my reservations earlier. I know I'm not a member on voting zoning committee where all these measures are referred, so I just wanted to note, absent changes, of course, I think I'll be voting no, but I am open and would be supportive of maybe looking at reducing the year length on the percentage and evaluating that to figure out why it doesn't work. But I think for me, it's more about like, are we making more tools or providing more tools in the toolkit? And so appreciate the discussion though, but just wanted to share that again, since I know zoning committee will have its own discussion before second reading.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to note my reservations in Bills 11, 14, and 15. I think taken together, on this first reading item, there is a sort of split screen effect of some bills that would advance housing. I've long called for this council to be a pro-housing council. And there are some bills that, if implemented as they stand right now, would take us backwards. Housing is the biggest problem that we face on this island. And we need to be doing everything that we can to make sure that our housing policy aligns with the conditions on the ground. It aligns with the North Star of creating more housing for local families at affordability levels that are across the spectrum, because there are families, we're going to be talking about the bus fare increase later on in this agenda, but there's some families that are making $30,000 together and they need housing that they can rent, and that's decent and safe for them. There's families where there's two parents who are both working with two kids and struggling to keep a roof over their head. There's seniors whose rent is going up by hundreds of dollars over the past few years. And we need housing for everybody, and it needs to be based on the idea that, and the recognition that we are supply constrained and there's not enough housing that's being produced, and we need to produce it in the right areas. And again, voting with reservations on bills 11, 14, and 15.
11, 14, and 15.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I look forward to a lively discussion in the Zoning and Planning Committee, but I introduced the bill mainly because the two projects, I think it was Sky Ala as well as Park on Keamoku, they ended up building these really small studios that they came back and asked us to allow them to be rentals instead of for sale because nobody wanted to buy them for 30 years. I get that it's a tool, but if we could get the developers to build units that people actually buy and use, and that's really the idea behind this. But, you know, again, looking for a lively discussion in the Zoning and Planning Committee, just to figure out, and hopefully we hear from the developers who are saying, hey, we're gonna build bigger units that people actually wanna live in for 30 years. Part of the problem is when it's 300 square feet or so, for 30 years. You know, if you have a family and you can't sell it, right? Or you, well, anyway, again, we're making good pace here. Didn't want to take too much time, but appreciate that. Okay, members, moving on to page 13, Bill 16 relating to regulation of dogs. Bill 16. Stephanie Kendrick, is she still available online?
Aloha, Chair. Steph Kendrick from the Hawaiian Humane Society. Yes, this is the first reading bill I was intending to testify in support of. You have our written testimony and support, and I'm looking forward to the discussion at the committee level. The Bill 8 that I was testifying, that I'm here to testify on, is actually later in the agenda, so my apologies for the earlier confusion.
No problem, and thank you for staying at the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board for 3 hours last night. Mr. Clerk, are there any other testifiers on Bill 16?
Mr. Chair, we have no other testifiers.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Moving to Bill 17 relating to affordable rental housing. I believe we have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Lee Wang, then Gina Thielen.
Mr. Chair, the first testifier is not logged on.
Okay. Gina Thielen, followed by Lance Berenger.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chairs, members of the Council. I am testifying in opposition to Bill 17. Of all the bills I have provided testimony on today, this is by far the most impactful, and not in a good way. Most significantly, this bill would accelerate the sunset date of Bill 7 by about 3 years to July 1st, 2027. From a project planning and development perspective, that is an immediate suspension. In the midst of a housing crisis, ending an affordable housing plan that has proven results is the poorest sort of policy imaginable. If anything, this council should be expanding, extending, and supporting this program. While there are other issues with this bill, most notably the height limits, the biggest problem with this bill is its very existence. This sends a clear message of hostile intent to everyone that is working to solve this housing crisis. It sends a clear message that the City and County of Honolulu will not honor its commitments and is a poor place to invest the capital so desperately needed to fund these projects. The very existence of this bill is a giant closed for business sign. I know that it is unusual to defer or not advance a bill at first reading. If there were ever a time for that type of statement, this bill is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 17? Please come forward, sir. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Lance Berenger. This is my first time coming here. Walked with many of you on the project. Anybody who hasn't been to Pensacola, I invite you to come down. This is an amazing building. It's got the rooms is going to house so many of Hawaii's people. It feels good getting up every morning to do this work. To end it now would be, I don't even see who brought this thing. I found out about it yesterday. If you brought this forward, come down to Pensacola. Take a look at the building we're building for Hawaii's people. This building will be here long afterwards, and we need more of them. As fast as I can build these buildings, they're full. They're full. If that doesn't tell you, these are Hawaii's people that we're building for. If that doesn't tell you what we need, they're everywhere. I built them on Kinau, Ernest Street, Algaroba, and Pensacola. I'll be finishing up. I'm getting this thing turned over here. About another 2 months, I'll be wrapping it up. It'll be ready for occupation. And then a couple months after that, since we get to the inspections. I invite you all to come down, take a look at this building. It is a good building. It'll be here for a while. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Berenger. We also have Shelby Pikachu Billionaire registered to testify. Since he's not here, we do have another member of the public. Please come forward. Welcome.
Aloha City Council, thank you for time today to express my opposition for Bill 17. I'm a property manager for 3 Bill 7 buildings. I have more requests for units than I have units available. The buildings fill very quickly with people that are more than grateful to have a place to be, to have a modern and safe home. I request that you take these things into consideration, that these buildings are filling quickly, that our residents are being able to have homes. It's fulfilling a need in our community, providing affordable modern homes, providing jobs for the people building these homes. And I ask that you allow it to continue, and I oppose Bill 17. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Would you like to testify? Please come forward.
Aloha Chair, Council members. My name is Lee Wang. I'm here to oppose Bill 17 with absolute conviction. Honolulu is in a full-blown housing emergency. Families are doubling up. 3 generations are living in one apartment. Young people born here can't afford to stay. And essential workforce that are actively being priced out and leaving the island. And this isn't a slow crisis. I think this is one we're all acutely aware of. But every time we see Bill 17s, everything slows down and it gets worse. Bill 7 is the one policy that has actually produced results. Real homes, real families moving in. And this progress is stemming the tide, but Bill 17 doesn't refine it. It shortens the runway, it guts the incentives, it kills the momentum just when we need it most. That's not leadership. That's choosing the loud complaints of a few over the quiet desperations of thousands. That's sabotage disguised as caution. How much time do I have?
No, please proceed.
Sure. And we see the complainants, Kailua Neighborhood Board, in support of Bill 17, overtly trying to prevent housing. They don't want housing for, the people who staff the restaurants in Kailua, the people that stock the shelves at Target, the teachers of Kalaheo. And so they have to move, and they have to drive into Kailua, and it's the same neighborhood board that has the gumption to complain about traffic. It's crazy. We can't afford leaders who sit in this room year after year claiming to fight the housing crisis while proposing Bill 17s that aim to strangle it. You talk about affordability, you talk about keeping local families here, and then you pull the plug on the pipeline that actually delivers it. So make no mistake, this decision will be remembered. There's voters watching. We're talking about parents, young adults, Keiki, who you're setting up for failure, who will remember you chose preservation over scarcity, preservation of scarcity over building actual homes, who prioritize politicking over real impact. So this isn't abstract policy, it's personal, it's generational. Bill 17 is embarrassing. Build the housing that Honolulu deserves and needs before more people leave.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Please proceed.
Aloha, council members. I'm submitting testimony in strong opposition of Bill 17. Bill 17 proposes to repeal the Bill 7 Affordable Renting Housing Program in 2027, 3 years earlier than currently scheduled. This bill is short-sighted, harmful, and directly undermines Honolulu's already fragile affordable housing pipeline. Even before its passage, the mere introduction of this bill sends a destabilizing signal to the development community and erodes public confidence in the Bill 7 program. Bill 7 took nearly 10 years of community negotiations, policy work, and collaborative effort to enact. It was a hard-won tool designed specifically to accelerate small lot, walk-up, affordable rental housing, one of the only housing types that can be realistically built quickly and at scale in Honolulu's urban areas. This bill now proposes to dismantle that framework, just as it is finally beginning to gain traction. The impact of Bill 17 would be severe and immediate. Any Bill 7 project not already in active permitting, in effect, would be prohibited from moving forward after July 1st, 2027. That means architects will stop drawing, lenders will stop underwriting, and landowners will not risk entering the program. The pipeline collapses not in 2027, but the moment this bill passes. The moment developers can no longer rely on the stability of affordable housing programs on the island. There are only two ways to ease a housing crisis: increase the supply of affordable homes or reduce demand. And reducing demand means losing local families. Bill 17 does exactly that by eliminating one of the few programs capable of adding new rental supply. Make no mistake, this bill doesn't merely phase out Bill 7, it systematically guts it. At a time when Honolulu is experiencing a generational housing shortage and needs more tools, not fewer, Bill 7 would actively reduce future housing production. It removes one of the only existing mechanisms capable of producing the affordable rental units we so desperately need. And for what purpose? The bill offers no analysis, no replacement program, no evidence that Bill 7 has run its course, and no justification that outweighs the damage it would cause. The only clear effect is to satisfy classic, not in my backyard sentiment, privileging discomfort or aesthetic concerns over the survival of local working families. Honolulu cannot afford reactionary policymaking. We cannot afford to dismantle housing tools without thoughtful evaluation or a viable alternative. And we certainly cannot afford to send the message that programs supporting affordable housing can be yanked away at any time for political convenience. For these reasons, Avalon Development Group respectfully urges the Council to reject Bill 17. We should be strengthening Bill 7, not prematurely killing one of the few programs proven capable of producing real, attainable rental housing for Honolulu residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 17? Bill 17. Thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Wire, followed by Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate all the testimony that came out. I do understand, I think, just given our past conversations as a council, possibly some of the intent in introducing the bill. I think what's bothered me so much about it is that so many folks are caught off guard in the community. Up until this was filed, I think there'd never been a signal from this council that we were contemplating ending the program, right? Like we've been renewing it once the expiration date sets, and we know, I know just from, the Austin Ohana in our district that there are projects that the community likes and that are housing people and housing people that need it. And I think my expectation was we were going to have a good policy discussion about how to house our people. And the direction that this is going, just the consolidation of power that we see and the understanding that one project that someone doesn't like is going to result in a bill that threatens to kill the entire program unless someone complies with that person's wishes. And then all of these measures go to that particular committee. I mean, I say that because a lot of people, we see the testimony from this, and we know that the challenges of folks that cannot testify because of concerns about who committee chairs are, or how leadership structure occurs. And maybe I'm wading into things, but just to come back to the purpose of this, I think.
Sunshine Law. So if you could continue your argument to Bill 17.
That is, Chair, stakeholders, I mean. So point being is folks are watching. And I think we need to return the people over politics, having respect for community stakeholders, having conversations, ensuring that people that are involved in housing our people are included in the conversation. And that's why I have to vote against moving it forward, because, you know, ending the program next year puts a lot of projects on the line. The financing that goes into it, all the discussions about how to do the projects. And so just wanted to say, and that's why I'll be voting no very, very strongly.
Okay, thank you. I do believe that each council member should have the right to introduce legislation based on their community needs, and our island is diverse. That's why we have different representatives for different areas, but I'd like to just respect that going forward. Councilmember Tolba.
Just regarding my reservations, I'm not a voting member, but I like the discussion and I'd like to hear more. But again, I agree with what you just said.
Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, followed by Councilmember Kiaina.
Thank you. I'll keep my remarks brief, but again, setting the stage for the housing crisis that we're in right now. There's not enough rental units for people to rent. There's not enough for-sale product that people can afford to buy. And you look at what we've been able to build over the past few decades. High-rises, luxury high-rises in Kaka'ako. And the march of those goes on. And then out on the west side, single-family homes that add traffic to H1 every single day. What's missing is apartments, small, medium-sized apartments that first-time homebuyers can, or first-time renters can move out of their parents' house into. For families just trying to move up the ladder just a little bit. 2 parents, 2 kids, just trying to keep a roof over the head. And for seniors who just want somewhere to live in dignity where the rent's not going to keep going up and up and up. And if we don't build more rental housing, that rent is going to go up and up and up. We're not going to solve our problems overnight, but we certainly cannot move our city backwards in this. These are apartments in the apartment zone. And I know there's objections to things like no parking and all of that. That was decided back in 2020. This has nothing to do with the Bill 7 program. That's a policy that applies to all the apartment zones in the primary urban center. So if we want to fix that, if we want to deal with these other things, there's going to have to be a multitude of other issues. But a bill to repeal the successful Bill 7 program that's delivered, and the only program that's delivered hundreds of rental units in our urban core, I can't support that. And so for the first time, voting no on a first reading item in my 3 years of being here on the council.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Kiaina, followed by Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I actually welcome all of the comments and testimony on this bill, as for my colleagues, except for Councilmember Wire, because he's attacking me personally, and there's actually no room for that in this council. I actually want to applaud Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tam, because he has actually been looking innovatively, and it's reflected in a couple of the bills today. We are not going to agree on all of the bills today, but I do feel that he has been sincere at trying to figure out how to overall increase the number of affordable housing units. So I would just say this, I would encourage my members to let all of the Bill 7 bills go forward. I am confident that with the 3 committees of jurisdiction that are going to be looking at this, as well as Councilmember Tupola, who is drafting an omnibus bill on Bill 7, that we have that dialogue then so that we understand the genesis rather than throwing arrows unnecessarily. It will be the Budget Committee, the Zoning Committee, and the Housing Committee who take a look at this. The intent was an expression of my community who felt that it was contrary to the Ko'olaupoko Sustainabilities Plan. I do understand about doing everything possible to provide tools to increase the number of units, and we have done so in a multitude of available tools, namely the 201H, which basically any project can avail themselves of. I did want to highlight 2 tools that are being underutilized. So for all of the housing advocates who are opposing this, I asked them to also help in outreaching to developers and homeowners who could avail themselves of two programs being run by DPP that people are not utilizing. These both happen under Ordinance 2502 or Bill 64. One which provides for residential units to be built in business districts, not only on top of businesses, but freestanding. And that would be at all income levels, not just affordable housing units, but market rents. There is also a provision that would allow for single-family homes that families are able to build an ADU as well as an Ohana dwelling unit. That would be 2 units. And the purpose was twofold. If you're going to talk about multi-generational families, then do it. Don't provide an environment for speculators to come in and bulldoze your house and put 2 ADUs and 1 single family. Both of these programs are available, and I feel that will help to increasing the housing supply and keeping people here. So all I ask is that we have this dialogue and at a later date. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to be voting with reservations on 17 as well as Bill 4, mainly because, and I like that how Councilmember Dos Santos Tam and Councilmember or Floor Leader Kia Aina mentioned different bills that I guess correlate to the problem surrounding Bill 7 projects, with the mention of the LUO, the certain TOD plans, even what's approved in past IBDTs, but also our traffic laws with parking. And I think that though those are better routes to address the issues to the Bill 7 projects, as well as if we were to look at the Bill 7 projects, I would like to just mainly look at our, whether it be the subsidies and also the quality of the housing that we are providing at the end of it. So just wanted to note that. And Chair, I do want to ask for clarification. Are we supposed to note our reservations for the other bills or reservations, oppositions for other bills, or can I do it?
Yeah, I think this is a good time. Bill 17 was the last of the first reading items. So at this point, I'm going to open up for discussion, noting your reservations on Bill 4 as well as Bill 17.
And 8.
And Bill 8?
Thank you.
Okay, Bill 8 reservations for Cordero. Also want to note, any other discussion on Bill 17? Councilmember Tabola.
Thank you so much, Chair. I do thank all of the testifiers for coming today. You know, it's clear that there's a lot of investment that's been going on for this particular Chapter 32 Bill 7 projects. I do know that for many people, you know, working with DPP in the city has been rough, but it's finally getting going. And as an example, I just met with DTS and they said it takes 5 years to put up one stoplight. So if that's the case, then how long does it take to get a building up or a housing complex? So all I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of layers of bureaucracy that we really wish weren't there. There's some that's there for safety, there's some that's there for environmental assessment, but nonetheless, there finally have been some projects that have broke ground and now it's occupied. And we've actually been to a few open houses where now people are having barbecues, we have resident managers speaking, so there seems to be some light at the end of the tunnel. But I do want to make note that here at the council, we're actually not able to go and talk with everybody about all of our ideas, so this is kind of the way that all of the ideas come out, right? Somebody introduces a bill, we think it's good, we think maybe it needs adjustment, we think it's bad. So I will reiterate that the omnibus bill that I've been working on, my goodness, I've met with so many people, Grassroots Institute, housing organizations, developers, DPP multiple times, because we are trying to get every idea and every thought, because say for example what's going on in Kailua, that might not be a concern for things going on in Kalihi, not a concern for things going on in Kapolei. So it's kind of a way of looking at it at a way where we can still help it succeed, and I'm going to be very clear that my stance is not to kill Bill 7 projects or end the program, but that I think moving forward, some of this input, because I've read all the different bills that have come up, some of the input's good, and I think we're going to take some of it. But I think the testifiers and other things we have to take into consideration. And I'll say one more thing and I'll wrap up. I am voting with reservations, knowing though that what Councilmember Kiaina said is what's going to happen. We are going to look for a positive path forward, working together so that we can preserve the best parts of this program. We spoke at a Filipino Chamber of Commerce on Saturday, and interestingly, a legislator said, whatever we can do on the state side to help with parking. I was like, you know, maybe we do want a little bit more help, because we want these projects to succeed, but indefinitely we can't if we don't have help from all of our partners. So with that being said, I'm in support of these projects. I'm in support of making it more efficient. I will work with all council members, all ideas that have been laid out for the best path forward. We are all standing together as a council, wanting the best for local families to live here for generations to come. And I'm saying that out loud to everybody to my left and to my right, because I know no matter where our stances are, that is the outcome we all want. And so that's what we're going to strive for, no matter if we have different ways of getting there. Our hearts are with the people, with our communities, and we're going to do what's best. And luckily, it's first reading, so we have many iterations to get what's best to the best version of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I also just want to point out that you all have approved over 10,800 units since you've been sitting in these seats, of which about 8,373 have been identified as affordable. And I don't think we've ever denied any project since you all been sitting here. But I like that idea. It's all going to go to committee. We're going to have an opportunity to work this out together in a public forum. Any further discussion on Bill 17? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Just one note, and I want to thank Vice Chair Tupola for bringing up our partners across the street at the state level. I know there's a lot of legislation dealing with housing, and I'll make one note about Bill 7. There is currently a there is a GET tax waiver that applies to these Bill 7 projects. That expires June 30th of 2025. That's a 21H 36A5 program. And if we're in misalignment, it creates confusion and also means that we on the city level aren't doing our part when our state partners are trying to help with the tax situation for affordable housing. So I want to make sure in part of this discussion we are in alignment and not at cross purposes with our state partners.
Okay, thank you. Any follow-up discussion on Bill 17? Seeing none, members, we are in discussion on all the items. I do want to point out that on Bill 4, I have a with reservations by Councilmember Nishimoto and Cordero. On Bill 8,
myself.
Oh, and with reservations from Councilmember Kiaina. On Bill 8, reservations by Cordero. On Bill 11, and reservations by Councilmembers Wire and Dos Santos Tam. On Bill 12, reservations by Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. On Bill 13, reservations by Councilmember Wire. On Bill 14, reservations by Councilmember Wire, Tolba, and Dos Santos Tam. On Bill 15, reservations by Councilmember Wire.
Chair.
On Bill,
Chair.
I'll get back to you. On Bill 17, reservations by Cordero, Tolba, and Tupola, and noes on Councilmember Wire and Dos Santos Tam. Did I miss anything? Councilmember Tolba.
Reservations on 15, sorry.
No problem. Bill 15, reservations by Councilmember Tolba. Thank you.
Chair,
Anybody
can you
else?
also, just please note my reservations on
Councilmember
17.
Okimoto.
Please note my reservations on 17.
Reservations
Thank
on
you.
Bill 17 by Councilmember Okimoto.
Chair, one more for me.
Hold on. Any others? Councilmember Okimoto? Good? Okay. Councilmember Tupola.
Just reservations on 15. Thank you.
Noting reservations on Bill 15 by Councilmember Tupola. Okay. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Correction, I'm yes on 12, but WR on 11, 14, and 15, and a no
Yes
on 17.
On 12. Okay.
For the clerks, I'll write down my WRs and my no.
Yeah. Can you say that again? Yes on 12, but
WR on 11, 14, and 15, and then a no on 17.
14, 15, got it. Anybody else? Okay, thank you, members. Noting the reservations and the noes on all first reading items, the items on pages 8 through 13 of the agenda, with the exception of Bill 17, has passed first reading. Moving to Bill 17, we need to take a roll call because there's a no vote. Is that no need to take a roll call? Okay, that's right. This isn't a remote meeting, so we don't have to do a roll call. Okay, so all measures on pages 8 through 13 has passed first reading. Thank you, members. Look forward to lively discussion in committee. Members, I do want to propose that we take the second reading items on pages 14 and 15, and then we break for lunch. Okay. On page 14, from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Okimoto.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 420 CR-426 be adopted and Bill 76, 2025 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Relating to government transparency.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none. Any objection or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 4-26 has been adopted and Bill 76, 2025 has passed second reading. Councilmember Okimoto.
I move that Committee Report 526 be adopted and Bill 77, 2025 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Relating to budget execution.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Councilmember Tolba.
Reservations.
Thank you. Noting the reservations of Councilmember Tolba, CR 5-26 has been adopted and Bill 77, 2025 has passed second reading. Moving to page 15 from the Committee on Government Efficiency and Customer Services, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 21 of 2026 be adopted and Bill 8 of 2025, CD1, as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This relates to animal nuisances.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion? Oh.
We have one person by video conference.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, Council Member Stephanie Kendrick for the Hawaiian Humane Society. We're in support of Bill 8, 2025, and you have our testimony. I just wanted to share an illustration of why this bill is so important. One of my senior investigator yesterday spent 5 hours in court on a dog barking complaint, only to have the judge throw that complaint out, dismissed with prejudice. Usually these are dismissed because the judges don't feel that the complainant has sufficiently proven that they were disturbed. So going through the criminal court system with these cases is extremely frustrating and not very productive. And we're really hoping that having the civil fine option will allow us to compel people to do a better job making sure that their pets aren't bothering their neighbors. So really strong support of Bill 8, 2025, and we appreciate your attention.
Thank you so much. Any further testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have one other testifier by video conference.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if my microphone is working. Okay. I got a new one. Angela Melody, I'm testifying on behalf of FLOR, Rescue of Animal Rights. And so just wishing to comment, of course, very supportive of Humane Society and their endeavors. And so for training animals and having to deal with the criminal aspect of punishment, I think it's a very interesting topic for the council to be the judge of. You know, training animals It stems from the understanding that animals act on instinct, fear, or learned behavior rather than humans' ability to judge morally by logic. So trainers as professionals are expected to manage deep instinct, interpret body language, and create safe environments. And so this responsibility falls on human trainers, and of course, as the city, people who have to manage parks and services for people and their puppies and kitties. If there is more provision for helping animals, helping animal trainers, then there would be less punishment in the criminal aspect of dealing with animal rights. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other testifiers? Please come forward. Jolie Tokusato, Aloha.
Sorry, actually, I wanted to testify on Bill 76, but you went too fast for me to comprehend that you were asking for testimony. Can I do that one instead?
Sure.
Okay, good. So I wanted to say thank you, Chair Waters and Okimoto, for introducing that transparency bill. You know, Local 5 wanted to be on the record saying we fully support that, and I cannot imagine anybody saying no to transparency. But I also want to just offer our services up to get, if you wanted more input on what we think could make this bill even better, please let us know, and we'll be happy to give you our opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Anybody else on Bill 8 from, Bill 8, 2025, CD1. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Chair.
I'm
Quick
sorry.
Discussion?
Councilmember Okimoto.
Just quick discussion, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
I just want to mahalo the committee chair, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, for hearing this measure. I really do appreciate the consideration. And this has been an effort that, working with our colleagues across the street in the Capitol. I want to thank the Director Hashiro from our Community Services, Customer Services Department, as well as Stephanie from the Humane Society. This is a measure that, while may not be something too controversial, it will help out our communities in allowing to ensure that our communities are safe and helping, as well as Ms. Kendrick said, helping cases in the court system. So thank you again. Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, for hearing this measure.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 21-26 has been adopted. Bill 8, 2025, CD1 has passed second reading. Thank you, members. It is now 12:10. Let's come back at 1:10. 1:10, 1 hour. Okay, thank you, members. We're in recess.